Hey, so now I'm going to add some color to my beautiful bubble letters with the drop shadow. And I'm using colored pencils. You can use whatever color tools you have. Um, Many of you are my art students who are at home, and you might have, you might only have crayons, and that's just fine. I'm using colored pencils. And so for those of you who haven't used colored pencils before or forget how to use them, I'm going to explain real quick what I'm doing. First, I put a base layer of color over the whole letter, and I used medium pressure so I can still see some of the paper showing through. And now I'm going around the edges of the letter with heavy pressure so you can see less paper. The reason why I'm doing that is to create contrast and value. I want my bubble letter to look like it's bubbling up off the page, almost like a balloon would. Um, and so the edges are going to be darker, and the middle part where it bulges up, where I'm imagining it bulging up, is lighter. And if I draw it that way, then I can create that visual effect. So over the blue, I'm adding some purple because, that's what we do when we use colored pencils. We blend them together. And then I'm using a little bit of purple over the middle too, keeping it light. And now I have this lovely light blue, and I'm going to use a technique that's called burnishing, and kind of a circular motion, heavy pressure. I'm going over all of my color, kind of focusing on the middle areas that I want to keep light, but I'm also using this to blend out the edges too. And you can see how it is removing the texture. You can no longer see the paper for the most part, and the colors are now nicely blended. And then I go back in here and I do some finishing touches because, that's what I do. And I want it to look, snappy. And I'm going to add a little bit of darker gray around the edges to create an even more depth, So it's going to make those edges look like they're even a little bit farther away. And I go around my whole letter, and I'm using medium pressure, and taking the time to blend um, as I go. Now I go over that gray with some blue and some purple again, just to unify the whole thing. And then I add some highlights. So I'm going to come in with a Conte crayon, and you are going to see I'm not super successful. What I'm trying to do is make some little shiny spots on my letter, and that's just not working. You can kind of see it, but not like I want you to be able to see it. So what I have to do is go to a plan B, and this is me looking around at what I have in my little, um, in my proximity, and then it occurs to me, oh yeah, I can use paint.